West Ham 2, Newcastle 3, welcome to Talk a Good Game. Gonzo's in fancy dress for a fundraiser, so that's the disclaimer over and done with. Gonzo, where's it gone wrong today?
I thought we were the worst. There's three teams in claret and blue in the Premier League, and I thought we were the worst of them.
I wasn't ready for that, and I certainly wasn't ready for that in the first half either. That first half, I think it's possibly the worst half of football I've seen at London Stadium, and I include David Moyes and Slaven Bilic in the equation here. We were awful. We could have been, it maybe should have been 3 or 4-0 down at half time. Do you know this? You get some indicators in the stadium. You learn to witness some indicators. We got there quite early today. We sat down. We had a little pie, and I thought, wow, we must be here really early because the stadium's still empty. I said, what time is it? 5:02. I thought, wait, 5:02. The players started coming. I thought, hang about, where is everyone? The crowd, not many people turned up. 3 p.m. on a Saturday, not many people turned up. Second indicator, alarm bell. Half time, standing section or sitting down. The ones that aren't at the bar are starting to sit down a bit. That's another thing. That first half was awful from start to finish. They had one plan: through ball. We play a high line, just ping it through, let St. Maximin run, and it was working every single time. I felt really sorry for Zabaleta. When we did the preview, we said there's no way Zabaleta can start because he's up against one of the fastest players in the Premier League. It's not a surprise. Steve Bruce has not sprung a tactical surprise today. He played the same team against Wolves, bar the centre midfield, which was forced on him through a suspension to Sean Longstaff. That's the only changes he made, okay? So Pellegrini could have watched last weekend and knew exactly how he's going to set up. So how did Pellegrini think Zabaleta was suddenly going to turn into Usain Bolt all of a sudden at right back? Well, guess what? He didn't. He struggled from start to finish today, Zabaleta. I felt really sorry for him. Lamb to slaughter. I don't blame Zabaleta at all. That is the manager's fault for not identifying Newcastle's strength, pace, and putting our weakness, lack of pace, right in front of it. It's just ridiculous. You know, the first goal headed across the 6-yarder. Where's our keeper? Where is he? Your 6-yarder, right? If you're
and now describe the second goal.
That's not a Brummie accent.
Now describe the second goal, Tom.
No, but the thing is, though, if you own a house, someone comes in your garden, you tell them get out your garden. You go out in your garden. That's 6 yards.
Just describe the second goal now.
In a minute. That first goal, that 6-yarder is Roberto's garden. The ball comes in, he's just standing there. Clark's got a free header at the back post. I thought, this isn't the first time I've seen this happen. It's not the second time or the third time I've seen it. Every review we do, we have to talk about how Roberto is static, how he stands on his line. The second one, cleared out, happy days. Everyone pushes up to the 18-yarder. Extra happy days, organised. Little dink into the 18-yarder. The defence that's pushed up stays pushed up. Newcastle running in. Roberto, static. Bang, 2-0. You're thinking, well, how could it get worse? Well, all of a sudden, St. Maximin was 1-on-1 from the halfway line 5 minutes later. That first half, Gonzo, was the worst 45 minutes of football I've seen at London Stadium.
Well, you said it was Balbuena's goal, Balbuena's garden. He had no idea. Yeah. There you go. I thought we could have been 4 or 5-0 down at half time. I think that would have been quite comfortable. Football's a simple game. Up until the point where you get to the very, very top level. At the top level, it becomes complicated. At the basic level, you have to create goal-scoring chances and more than the opposition. If you create more goal-scoring chances than the opposition, you win the game. We didn't. Up until right near the end, when Rice did his header, we had created one goal-scoring chance in that first half. Purely and simply, we concede an awful lot of goal-scoring attempts and we create very few. We are not an attacking team. We are a defensive team that can't defend. And if you want that again, I'll say it again. We don't create and we don't defend. And it was regardless of what you think Pellegrini's philosophy is, that's what's happening at West Ham. We are not threatening the opposition goal. Sam Maxime, I think, was 18 to 20 million quid. Quite frankly, he ran us ragged. Steve Bruce had a tactical plan. It wasn't the best tactical plan in the world. It didn't need to be for the reasons that I said. Pep Guardiola or Jurgen Klopp might have the best tactical plans in the world. Today, we had a Steve Bruce tactical plan and we couldn't come up with it. The Steve Bruce tactical plan was to either counter-attack with Sam Maxime, which was very, very very effective. The reason it didn't yield more results is because of the brilliance of Roberto, who was man of the match, which you'll ask later, by the way. The other thing was that they had set plays, and he had a tactical plan from set plays, and that's why we conceded the first 2 goals.
The first half, it really frustrated me, the difference between the two teams. Creswell would get the ball, 8 passes later, Zabaleta would have the ball, okay? That's how it worked out. A Newcastle defender would get the ball, 2 passes later, they'd be on the edge of our 18-yarder. They were taking 5 seconds to go from defence to attack. We were taking a minute to go from left to right, and we didn't move any further forward. It was just extremely frustrating. We have all this talent in the squad, and we want beautiful football from Pellegrini. We expected attacking football. It's a bit catfish almost, really. We've almost been catfished by Pellegrini, because what we're getting is no better under David Moyes. I actually think David Moyes would be more efficient in terms of results than Pellegrini is. It's just really frustrating. Second half, we made some changes, got 2 goals back. Were you feeling positive at all?
No, because that tells a lie. The 3-2 result tells a lie, Gio. It suggests that it was a close game. It wasn't a close game. The last goal we scored, the second goal, the finish from Snodgrass was sublime. Yeah. You can't rely on a sublime finish from outside the box. Do you know what? It might not have been outside the box, it might have been from 17 yards. But you know what I'm saying. Yeah. It wasn't a tap-in. You can't rely on that to win a game. You have to create chances. You have to create double-figure chances. We've not done that for a long, long time. Don't take my word for it. Look at the stats. Look at how many chances we create per game. It is usually less than the opposition. You can't do that and expect to win a game. Today, I know we're talking about the second half, but I go back to the first half. And the reason I do that, normally we do these reviews, Gio, in chronological order. This is not the time to do that. This is a reaction. This is how we're feeling. After 30 minutes, Pellegrini should have made a change. It was blatantly wrong. Everything was wrong, tactically. The momentum of the game, everything about that game was wrong. The tactics should have been changed then. They didn't. We still muddled on, and we sort of stumbled until we got to half time. And still, even then, I didn't feel it was sorted at half time. I was a little bit late up for the second half because, well, for whatever reason, I was late for the second half. I walked up the stairs and I thought, when I got to the top of the stairs, I thought, thank goodness it's not 3-0. I expected it 3-0. Do you know what? It did. 3-0 happened quite shortly afterwards. So don't anybody fool themselves that we got to half time and we sorted it out tactically. We didn't. Half time came, half time went. Pellegrini had his talk, had his tactical change, and we still went 3-0 down. If we carry on, Gio, I think Burnley lost and lost healthily today, lost well. Don't expect, just because Burnley lost well, we go up to Burnley and win. Sean Dyche should have them organised after today. We are bang in trouble. 13 points after 13 games equals, if you follow it through to its conclusion, 38 points after 38 games. We are bang in trouble. Forget the top 6, forget everything else. What happened after half-time was not good enough. There was nothing tactical, there was nothing in terms of energy, and from a half-time talk that happened that energised us and made us better.
I think there was something tactical, but I actually think it was Newcastle's tactics. I think Steve Bruce thought, now we've got the 2-goal lead at half-time, we'll sit deeper, boys. We'll sit back and we'll give Almiron, St Maximin and Yolenton even more room to run into. They had chances in the second half, even at 3-0, 3-1, 3-2, well, not 3-2, but 3-1. They still had opportunities. They were still counter-attacking, and our defence was having to run all the way back from the halfway line to the 18-yarder because they couldn't do anything. There was a lack of responsibility on the pitch from our team today. All the players, all of them hiding. Noble was awful in the first half. He was really bad in the first half. Lanzini comes on, he's trying to make things happen, but the thing is, he's playing the way someone needs to play at 0-0 at the start of the game. He's trying to link things together, but he's doing it in the middle third. It was too late for that. We were 2-0 down. We needed someone to be doing it in the final third. You know, we were trying to put the crosses in, but they were a bit aimlessly. The people in the box weren't reacting very well to it. But the thing is, Balbuena's goal wasn't the best corner, but it got flicked on and knocked into the goal. Snodgrass's goal, the cross to it, wasn't perfect. It was a difficult and awkward finish from Snodgrass, and it was more about the finish than the assist. The thing is, we were throwing stuff at them, and when you do that, eventually it's going to fall for you. But until we were 3-1 down, we didn't do it until Balbuena scored. Even at 3-1 down, 3-0 down, it was almost like we accepted it. We were strolling about thinking, let's just not make it 4-0, and it's just... so frustrating, and I'm quite frankly, Gons, I'm fucking pissed off today because that in the first half was awful, and today is the first time I feel the reaction off the pitch. I thought this is not good. The booing at half time, the way people reacted, I thought, I don't remember Slav or Moyes getting booed this loudly, because they were having to shoehorn players into positions. They had a budget squad. Pellegrini's not got that. Pellegrini's not a budget manager. There's a lot of questions for Pellegrini, and he's not got very many answers at the minute, and he needs to start coming up with them next week against Burnley. But the problem is, every single week, my confidence in that happens just gets lower and lower and lower. Now, I don't want him gone, okay? I'm going to say that. I don't want him gone or anything, but I do want to see something different, and it's got to start now, because Newcastle deserved their win. They were fantastic today. Shelvey, man of the match by a country mile on that pitch. He ran it from start to finish, from back to front. Shelvey was incredible, and he loved it. You could see him. He waved to the West Ham fans when he scored. Hit the bar with the outside of his right foot. We ain't got any of that. We've got Lanzini, we've got Allaire, we've got Anderson on the pitch. None of them shooting. Shelvey, it's a really right outside of his right foot. He thought, you know what, I'm going to have a crack here off the bar, because he had a go. We didn't have a go. No players had a go. West Ham didn't have a go. And now the fans are going to have a go, and rightly so. Your final words, and we'll start wrapping this up, and we're going to go have a damn good time. Otherwise, what's the point of today?
My final words are to anybody that's watching the video, actually, and thank you for watching the video, because anyone that's clicked on this is going to be frustrated because they're a West Ham fan, or maybe the odds smatter and a Newcastle fan is going to be very happy. And Newcastle deserved to win it today. Sam Maxime was the outstanding player on the pitch. Let me get out of the way now. But if you're a West Ham fan, how many teams in the league do you think are worse than Newcastle? You might think it's 2, you might think it's 3, you might think it's 4, you might think it's 5, but you're unlikely to think it's 10. My point is, you are likely to think Newcastle are one of the top 6 or 7 worst teams in the Premier League. Now, with that in mind, think to yourself, today he has decided to go defensive against Newcastle, and by that I mean he's decided this is Newcastle at home at West Ham's home ground. Actually, I'm not going to play Lanzini. I'm going to go a little bit defensive today, and that is the mindset that we're dealing with. Whether you like Lanzini, whether you don't like Lanzini, Lanzini is one of our best offensive players. He is a guy that makes things happen. Yet today, Pellegrini was so paralysed with fear that he decided, I won't do it on one of the league's lesser clubs. I will go safe. I will try and close up the game. And when he's done that with Snodgrass, he's done it with Noble, he's done it with Rice. Those are our central midfielders today, basically. He's gone with stoppers in central midfield, and if he's doing that against teams that we should be attacking in the Premier League, it does not bode well for what looks on and what is going forward in the Premier League this season.
He played the same team against Sheffield United, which concerns me. Sheffield United put that 11 out. Nobody was really happy with it. A draw was a fair result, so we come up against Newcastle and put the same 11 out. What are you expecting to be different compared to last week? Nothing was different.
Sorry, let me just say this now. We are not as good as Sheffield United, we are not as good as Newcastle, and we're not as good as Aston Villa. As Crystal Palace. That's clear. If you're watching this and you're going to turn around and say, actually, we're better than Newcastle, we're better than Sheffield United, and we're better than Crystal Palace, well, we're not. And if we're not, and I don't think we are, we're bang in trouble. Sorry.
I quite agree with you there. But I just frustrating. I was coming here hopeful, expecting a win. I seen the lineup and I thought, well, that's fucked it. At half time, I know Yarmolenko was on a great first half, but this is the Allaire's thing. Allaire is struggling because he's not getting service. Yarmolenko's struggling the first time, he's not getting service. He's still our biggest goal threat, and we took him off 2-0 down. He took him off, and I'm just